If you want to learn how to use Bitcoin on-chain more privately, this video is made for you. Today I'm going to show you what is Payjoin and how to use it to protect your privacy and save on fees. As you know it, Bitcoin doesn't use a balance system like a bank account. Instead, it operates on a UTXO model. Think of UTXOs as coin in your wallet. Let's say you have a coin of 1 BTC and a coin of 2 BTC. If you want to pay someone 3 BTC, you combine these two coins and send them to the receiver. But most of the time, the UTXOs you have in your wallet don't match perfectly the amount you need to pay. Let's say you have 3 coins of 2 BTC in your wallet and you want to pay someone 5 BTC. You're gonna give this person the 3 coins you have in your wallet and you will expect 1 Bitcoin back as change. This dynamic is exactly how a Bitcoin transaction is usually constructed on the blockchain. In Bitcoin terms, the coins you spend are called inputs and the payment plus the change are called outputs. Most Bitcoin payments follow the same basic pattern. A few inputs in one side and 2 outputs on the other side. One for the person you're paying and one that returns to you as change. There is also a small amount that goes to pay the mining fees. This classic payment structure creates a pattern, and pattern of transactions can be used to make assumptions, often called heuristics. The most famous one is called common input ownership heuristic. It assumes that if a transaction has multiple inputs, they all belong to the same person. It's not mathematically guaranteed, but in the vast majority of transactions today, it's the case. For example, blockchain analytics companies rely on that assumption to track Bitcoin ownership on the blockchain. The other important consequence of this standard transaction model is UTXO management. Because each time you're doing a payment, you're creating small change outputs. And at some point, you're most likely going to consolidate those small change UTXO into a bigger one, which means paying higher fees and creating even more identifiable patterns on the blockchain. The Payjoin protocol flips that logic because Payjoin transactions are participative. Let's say you want to send someone 1 Bitcoin. You will put 1.5 BTC in the transaction and the receiver will also participate and put 0.5 BTC in it. You as the sender will receive back 0.5 BTC and the receiver will receive 1.5 BTC. So when you do the math, the net payment is exactly 1 BTC. To an external observer, the transaction looks normal. It mimics the standard structure we just talked about. Multiple inputs leading to 2 outputs. And this is the trap for an external observer. Because it looks like a standard payment, the person looking at the blockchain assumes all these inputs belong to the same sender. So effectively, your UTXO's history gets mixed with the receiver's ones, ensuring that malicious observers cannot attribute ownership on the blockchain anymore. A Payjoin transaction also obfuscates the real price that is being paid, because an external observer will see that 1.5 BTC is being moved instead of 1 BTC. With Payjoin, the structure of the transaction looks normal. You have different inputs and 2 outputs, but the internal logic is totally different because the receiver contributed to the inputs of the transaction. If even 5 to 10% of market participants use Payjoin, the current chain analysis heuristics become worthless. Analysts no longer have a reliable model for inferring roles, directions, and amounts. It's important to take into consideration that unlike CoinJoin, Payjoin doesn't produce a recognizable pattern on the blockchain. And most people miss the economical angle of Payjoin. With Payjoin, the receiver doesn't just receive a payment. He actually uses that payment to clean up his wallet and consolidate his UTXOs. When you receive a Payjoin transaction, one or more of your old UTXOs get merged with the incoming payment to create a larger UTXO. It means that you will avoid the future transactions and the fees that come with it. And that's the genius thing about it, because in general, privacy techniques cost more to implement. With Payjoin, privacy becomes an economically rational behavior. And the best part is that Payjoin doesn't require any change to Bitcoin consensus rules. No forks, no new address types. It only needs to be implemented by the wallet providers. At the moment, a handful of wallets have implemented Payjoin, and Bull Wallet is one of them. And now I'm going to show you how to use it to send a Payjoin transaction. Okay, so here I'm using the Bull Wallet on 2 different phones. On the right, I have a wallet loaded with 300,000 Satoshis that I'm going to use to send a Payjoin transaction. And on the left, I have a wallet with 800,000 Satoshis. I'm going to use this one to receive the Payjoin transaction. So the first thing I'm going to do is to press receive here. Just know that on the Bull wallet, Payjoin is activated by default. So I'm just going to copy the receiving address. This address includes Payjoin metadata. So it's a normal Bitcoin address with additional parameters attached to it. If I passed it into a wallet that supports Payjoin, it will understand it and use it to construct the transaction. If I passed it into a regular wallet, it will just ignore it and send the standard Bitcoin transaction. So now I'm on the sender's wallet. I'm just going to press send and pass the address. So for this example, I'm going to send 200,000 Satoshis, which is 0.002 BTC. I'm going to press continue and confirm. Now I'm just going to wait for a few seconds. The wallets will communicate with each other and cooperate to build the transaction together, depending on how many UTXO I have available on each of them. I'm going to refresh on the receiver's wallet. And here we go. I just received the 200,000 Satoshis. So now I'm going to go on mempool.com and enter the transaction ID to see how this transaction look like on the blockchain. So here, the 3 UTXOs at the top come from my sender's wallet, and the one at the bottom is coming from my receiver's wallet. A transaction like this one would most likely trick an outside observer, because it will think that all of these UTXOs are owned by the same person. And of course, here the real amount that was sent in the transaction is obfuscated. As we can see here, we have a UTXO of 245,000 Satoshis and one of 116,000 Satoshis. But the real amount sent, as it shows on my wallet, is 200,000 Satoshis. Payjoin alignment of economical incentives and privacy is exactly what Bull Bitcoin stands for. From our fee multiple calculator to our integrated atomic swap and Payjoin implementation, we make sure that every feature we design is optimized for efficiency while reducing your digital footprint. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you around.